What is the Bible stance on maladaptive daydreaming? And how should a Christian approach or battle maladaptive daydreaming? Now, I would quickly say what maladaptive daydreaming is for those who might not be familiar. Maladaptive daydreaming is a mental state. It's big English. It's true. It's big English. I'm putting the question there so that we'll follow. Maladaptive daydreaming is big English. It's true, but it's a mental. I don't want to say and there's no I will not say condition because condition is not yet, as I saw in me looking up even more into it, is not yet known as a diagnosed or standardized mental condition, as we have things like OCD, ADHD, schizophrenia. But then that's why I'm careful in saying it's a condition. But then it is a condition because people go through these things, right? It's just not clinically standardized yet. Where somebody would have a very, very elaborate and vivid daydreams. It's not imagination now. It's not when imagination won't kill you. Mm-mm. It's like you you are sitting and you're seeing visions. But it's not visions. Well, they say it's daydreaming, but it's very vivid. So the person is very, very um encapsulating, is very, very um what's the English I'm looking for now? Is very, very immersive, right? It's very real in their minds, it's very vivid. It's elaborate daydreams and which could go on for hours. You go just they go. You go just they go. It goes on for hours, right? And there have been cases where this starts, as this begins, starts, goes on to as something that people get into to escape their reality. So they just begin to, you know, go on about thoughts in their head, and then it becomes maladaptive daydreaming, or people use it to escape their reality, their reality, and to cope with stress. But it's not perfect. They're just the think. The imagination won't kill them. Nah, don't be perfect. They know they see future, right? But then the idea of maladaptive daydreaming essentially is that it's an issue that has to do with the mental health, right? And while it might not be so popular, it is real. People do go through these things. And for this person to ask this question, people go through these things. So because it's a health issue, let me start from a mental health perspective. As believers, is a- as believers, it's a way that we have to approach mental health issues. There's a way, there's this, should I say, standardized way that we should approach mental health issue. And because maladaptive daydreaming is also a mental health issue, rather, there's a way that, and it's the same thing would apply. Mental health issues are real, as much as we might want to deny it among, say, believers. We have a sound mind. It's true. I believe you. I believe you have a sound mind. But people go through things. Mental health issues, people get depressed, right? People people suffer from any other, still not this my true. People suffer from a lot of other, mental health issues, depression, chronic clinical depression, ADHD, all of those, OCD. Some people, OCD, as our generation will say, "Oh, I have OCD." It's not OCD. You don't know what OCD is. If you need, you'll not be saying that. OCD, all of those things, they are real and they happen to be believers as well. It's true. And a way that, and this might seem unspiritual for many people, but the way, but follow me, the way that many of these things should be addressed is the way that maladaptive daydreaming also should be addressed. Is that it should be addressed in seeing that it is a mental health issue rather, And as a believer, one thing that we should do for mental health issues, if one of the things that we should do for mental, first of all, don't shy away from professional help. Let people who know about these things help you. And no, it is not lack of faith. It is not unspiritual to seek professional help. And let me also say, especially when it comes to mental health issues, don't just go to anybody too. Because truth to this fact, see, personally, I have, I am very careful. I have a carefulness, or should I say, I don't want to say anxiety or fear when it comes to recommending people to go to therapy. Because in and of itself, I don't think therapy is bad, but therapies can add to your problems. And I'm speaking from the standpoint of a believer now. Imagine, because therapy generally, and again, just follow me. I'm listing a number of approaches to mental health issues, and I'm intentionally starting with this one, right? Because a lot of it might seem more spiritual, it is not. The reason why I'm careful about therapy for many people is that therapy opens up your emotions, your mind, opens up your soul to somebody else. And so giving your soul to somebody else who might not be a believer, that is, the person doesn't have the spirit of God. The person doesn't have the spirit of God is not is black or white. The person might be carrying something that is a spirit, but it's not of God. And if you are opening your yourself to that kind of a person, the person will pour into it, and you came with problem, but you now live with problems. I guess what I'm saying now. So that's why I'm very, you open your inner man to a foul spirit. So that's why I'm very careful, because I would say therapy is not bad. Many times it's needed. But then let the person who is going to be a therapist be a believer. Be somebody who is attested as a child of God who carries the Holy Ghost. That's my point. But then seek professional help. Seek professional help. Or talk to somebody about it. This thing is buzzing me. And this is not a less Christian approach, it's not a less spiritual approach. This is very, very spiritual. And this covers any other mental health issues. Seek professional help. And not pastor alone, licensed Christian therapist. Thank you, one of the licensed, not pastor alone, licensed Christian therapist. See, that's why I said professional help. Seek professional help. And then it's because so there's a part of spiritualizing it so much that you don't seek professional help. There's also a part of it so pragmatic that you don't spiritualize it too, because it's a balance. Are you with me now? So seek professional help, but pray about it. Seek professional help, but pray about it. Because see, hmm, being careful about many things, especially when it comes to even for many illnesses and mental health issues, they are not always ordinary. And this is not me trying to sound spooky or saying village people. It is true. See, people have been depressed and there were devils behind it. People have been, I've seen, see the associations that I've seen, I've heard, is not hearsay. I know the people who are involved, that they've been battling with depression, they've been battling with self, um, self-loathing, self-hatred, and they just got into, a meeting. They casted out a demon out of them. They were fine. I know. It's not story. I know the people. I know the person who casted the devil out. I know the person that was casted from. I know it is not. These are things I've seen. So many times these things are caused by devils, and because there is a professional, there's a scientific way to explain it, does not mean that there's no spiritual backing behind it. Because we can explain it does not mean it doesn't have a spiritual reinforcement behind it. I guess what I'm saying. There's a story that I heard. Now, this is a story I don't know personally, but it's true because a verifiable source that told the story. That it was a church meeting, and this person came for the church meeting. After the church meeting, she went into like the green room to see the pastor. Protocol brought her in and everything. And she was like, "Oh, once the pastor, what's going on?" She has been very depressed. You know, I think maybe she has been very depressed. She has not been herself for it has been affecting a lot of things, work and all of those things. The pastor began to pray for her, and as they continued to pray for her, she she started backing. I wish I was joking. She was on the floor doing woof woof. She was barking. They casted that devil out. She was fine after. Of course, if she went to if she went to the clinic, they would have said, "Oh, it is this, it's clinical depression. You need to do this." But it was a devil. See, why I'm saying this is the reason why I'm saying all of these things is so that we would know that see many of these things occurring. See, many of these things they can because it can be explained scientifically does not mean there's no spiritual connotation behind it. Let's be careful. So seek professional help, granted, but pray about it too. And talk to someone. Let somebody know about it. Someone who is discerning, who can probably pray for you and help you hold your hand through the condition. That is the believer's approach to maladaptive daydreaming and any other mental health issue. Talk to somebody, so seek professional help. Pray about it because demons could be hiding behind all these conditions and we will explain them away. But explaining them away does not take away the problem because there's the idea of, and that doesn't mean that every of those cases are caused by demons. That's not what I'm saying too. So you should seek professional help. Exactly. That's the story of Jesus now. They said the person was having seizures. Jesus said he casted out the deaf and dumb. How now? As how now? So because they can be explained does not mean is that um does not mean that there are no spirits behind it, and that doesn't mean that they are always caused by spirit. So seek professional help, pray about it. But then, if they are caused by spirit, right, they can be, they cannot, they can not be undone by professional help because professional help will do. I mean, there are cases where people are plagued by devils and they go to hospital and the hospital are saying you are fine. But then they are like, am I going crazy? I know how I'm feeling in my body. What do you mean I'm fine? Right. See, because if they do professional, they do all the medicine and science that they can do, it is a devil that is there at the end of the day. The devil, it is the devil. So you have not removed the source of the problem. You haven't. So I believe the from any mental health issue, generally maladaptive, OCD, depression, whatever it is, self-harm, whatever it is, schizophrenia, seek professional help, but pray about it to speak to someone who is discerning, who can pray for you and help you. Because and some of these things can be caused. Some of these things can be caused in the like they are very scientific at first, but then the demon will take over at some point. Because as I said, when I was explaining it, some people actually do this like is like a muscle that is do they do this to escape, to cope with stress and escape their life. And if you are doing that enough, and it can become a very chronic mental health, mental, excuse me, mental health issue, right? The devil can say you have gone so far. I love it. Now I'm gonna take over. You've done well. I will take it from here. And that's why I think it's also important that we should be careful. And I want to say something some people might not like. I think it's important that you don't even allow yourself, open yourself to the things that are not in line with the fruit of the spirit. But and going on to say that that's why I don't like that a believer will be um, loving to engage in movies that cause fear. Say horror movies. I used to love anything horror. I used to read horror novels, watch horror movies. I loved it. Like it was my top genres. But then I started growing and understanding that see this thing does not align with the fruits of the spirit that I bear. And at the end of the day, I'll just be opening myself up to demons because they see, oh, you're not supposed to be afraid, but you are intentionally subjecting yourself to fear. I will take it from here. So, how should the believer approach it by praying about it, seek professional help, and talk to someone who can help you. At the end of the day, it might just be that you need professional help. At the end of the day, you might need ekbalo. You you eject the devil, that foul devil. Some other practical things that would help is because, as I said earlier, the vivid imagination. Sorry, I'm playing. Maladaptive daydreaming, right, can begin because somebody is just experimenting with their minds. And even if it doesn't begin like that, it can be helped by withdrawing from that. So don't be idle, I think would be another practical way, particularly for maladaptive daydreaming, because always having something to look forward to, something that you are getting, that you are exerting your so getting busy, let the person be busy, let the person be engaged, find something to do, find a book to read, a course to engage in, a skill to learn. Just always have something to occupy your, because this thing, not just mental health issues, as well as any other vice, thrives on idleness. So don't be idle. Be more conscious of your thoughts. Um, Again, this thing starts because your thoughts starts traveling. So be more conscious of the things that enter your mind. So that as they come, before they grow, you check them, you've cleared them. Right. And true, social media as well. Social media is sponsors a lot of things. The rate of mental health issues that we have in our generation compared to previous generations is a lot. And one of the causing factors is social media, whether we like depression, social media, um, our attention span issue, social media. So we do social media because social media is changing your phone generally. Devices are changing you more than you want to admit, even if you are using it for good causes. If you are maybe you are listening to sermons every day, your phone is changing you. So, and finally, healthy as I talk to people, have healthy relationships. Don't be alone. Don't be alone now because mental health issues thrive when the person is isolated. So, yes.